Any trained actor can do drama, but only a select few can really pull in the laughs. Out of all the great comedies, which characters make the cut for the top 5? Making this list was no small task. There are plenty of legendary roles that inevitably had to be left out, and I promise you'll see several of the characters that you love the most, but also potentially a few you've never seen, and maybe even a few of your favorite actors, but not for the roles that you would have guessed. Jumping right in, we all love him for his many portrayals of the straight man. Whether it's Horrible Bosses, Extract, or Game Night, Jason Bateman has been a legend on screen, but he's always been the voice of reason in comedies as well. But what happens when you give him the opportunity to break typecasting and play the polar opposite role? Well, he's given this chance with the role of Dave in The Change-Up, and not only does he do a great job, it's hands down the funniest character he's ever played.
I'll have my briefs on your desk by lunch.
That puts my balls on your chin by dinner.
It should come as no surprise, as the movie was written by the guys who wrote The Hangover and the director who directed Wedding Crashers, but we need to give Jason his flowers too. Jason comedically carries the movie as he stars as a bachelor ladies man who is trapped in the body of his best friend, a workaholic family man who has no time for nonsense. And Ryan Reynolds stars alongside him as the straight man. It was pretty strange to see the two guys play the opposite of every other role they play, but they should do this more often because they both knocked it out of the park. And it took a literal body swap movie just to send this message to Hollywood.
It's just like trying to a Catholic girl who keeps saying, no, I don't want to. I'm really, really drunk and you're circumcised. But she keeps on making out with you. She just needs a little bit of a nudge, or just to rationalize it to herself, to her God. Do you know what I mean?
But if you thought Jason Bateman starring as the funny man was surprising, I bet you never would have guessed in a million years that John Cena would find his way onto this list. Though it's well-deserved for his portrayal as Mitch in the movie Blockers. Cena stars as the overprotective father who finds out his daughter plans to lose her virginity on prom night and will stop at nothing to prevent this from happening. I remember when this movie first came out, and I didn't watch a trailer for it. I just dodged trailers at all costs. Like, I'm the person that shows up to the movie like 30 seconds before it starts because trailers just spoil everything. And I saw a poster for it and I was like, yeah, sure, I'll go see this. I go to the movies every week. Sure, why not? I only really knew John Cena as some goofball that I watched in elementary school when I was a WWE fan. And boy, did he blow my fucking socks off.
Eggplant agreement.
Yeah, they got an agreement to make eggplant parmesan.
No, eggplants are dicks in teenage emoji language.
What?
You know, he completely stole the show and brought the roof down of the theater. I don't think I've ever laughed so hard at a role in my life in a movie theater, and I think the people who went to the movies with me would say the same exact thing. He is just gold all around in this movie. I could not wait to tell all my friends about how funny this movie was, and John Cena in particular. And not like funny because it's John Cena, but like funny as in this movie would have been hilarious if I had never heard of John Cena before. Long story short, I ended up spreading the word like wildfire, and I ended up going to see this movie 8 times in theaters, which is by far the most amount of times I've ever seen a single movie in theaters. In fact, I just rewatched this movie for the first time in 7 years. It very much still holds up, so much so that I'm going to go ahead and make a video essay on this movie in a couple of weeks. And aside from this movie, he was hilarious in Suicide Squad as well, and he completely saved the movie Ricky Stenicki. I know the man's 48 years old, but he is well primed to be the next comedy movie star.
We locked eyes and then he finished.
But speaking of roles that stole the show, how about an even smaller role? Like minor supporting character kind of role. Yet it's the first character that comes to mind when you think of American Pie. Who else but Steve Stifler, played by Sean William Scott.
What are you doing here? You actually said that?
Shut up.
You guys are pathetic.
It's wild to think that this was Sean's first comedy movie role, and that he was working a minimum wage job before he got the role, and after, because he only made $8,000 for working on the movie. But it would be criminal to leave him off this list. I mean, he pulls off the two hardest things in acting, in that he makes an unlikable character lovable and effectively executes the comedy. And I honestly don't think I've ever seen both of these pulled off simultaneously, which is of course why he is on the Mount Rushmore for comedy movie characters, and that's not up for debate. And speaking of which, let me know in the comments down below, what's your favorite Sean William Scott role? I mean, mine's obviously Steve Stifler, hence him being on this list, but you could make a case for so many different roles, and I'd love to hear what your thoughts are.
Oh my God, you're gay.
But it was only a matter of time before the greatest comedy movie actor of all time made his way onto the list. If you've seen my prior videos, you know damn well that he is going to make his way onto this list, but you're probably surprised that he did not earn the #1 spot. Though if we were doing a list of the greatest improvised roles of all time, he would definitely be the first person on this list.
It's a good time, you know what I mean? Yeah. Rubbing up against each other, just a couple of kids who like to trying to make it honest. I get it.
And that's Vince Vaughn as Jeremy Gray in Wedding Crashers. This is my favorite movie of all time, and I have to give a ton of props to the director David Dobkin for the amount of creative freedom that he gave to Vince in the making of this movie. Because without Vince's wit, I can confidently say that this movie would not be anywhere near the level that it is. Also, it might just be time to give Dobkin another comedy movie. But this is all around peak performance from the peak comedic actor. It's a movie that I can go back to whenever, and it'll never fail to make me laugh. Vince really dominated the 2000s, and I eagerly await his return, because Vince's dominant on-screen performances are the exact sort of thing that modern comedies are missing.
The proper girl in the hat just the shit out of me.
And speaking of 2000s R-rated comedies, my directorial debut was actually a 2000s-style R-rated comedy movie titled Rosetta Stone, and this movie follows burnout senior in high school Ryan, who agrees to get his autistic classmate Edward high in exchange for homework help, but realizes he's in for more than he bargained for when Edward makes advances at friendship. And I want to give this movie to you for free, which you can get when you sign up for my email list, which I will be including a link to in the description and in the pinned comment. But if Vince was #2, who could possibly be #1? Think the MVP of MVPs when it comes to comedy movies. A movie that would be completely unrecognizable if a different actor starred in this role. We're of course talking Zach Galifianakis for his portrayal of Alan in the movie The Hangover. But did you know that the studio wanted to cast the likes of Jake Gyllenhaal, Jonah Hill, or Paul Rudd instead? As much as I respect those guys, this is a completely different movie if any of them were cast instead of Zach. Zach was literally the only person on Earth who could have pulled this role off the way he did.
Hello, how about that ride in? I guess that's why they call it Sin City. You guys might not know this, but I consider myself a bit of a loner.
His buy-in and overall presence on screen was nothing short of perfection. He's got some of, if not the funniest dialogue sequences I've ever seen, and they're all packed into one movie.
It's not illegal, it's frowned upon, like masturbating on an airplane.
I'm pretty sure that's illegal too.
Yeah, maybe after 9/11 where everybody gets so sensitive.
It seriously cannot be stressed enough the difficulty of, uniqueness of, and perfection that he delivered all of his lines with. This was a Hall of Fame performance, and one that may never be topped. And if you love these actors as much as I do, you're going to be excited to hear that a couple of them from this very list are going to be soon making their return to the big screen. I break down 5 upcoming comedy movies that will be starring your favorite actors here.